ponytails gaze at the sky. Super lekker summer, don't you think so? Super lekker summer from the get-go. Don't forget about the resto. Jump, jump, jump until you let go. One time, two, then take your body back. One time, two, sail offshore. One time, two, then take your body back. One time, two, straight at the elbow. Sand in your tippy toes, running to the waterline. It's just the heat on your tummy and the oil for the shine. Super lekker summer, don't you think so? Super lekker summer from the get-go. Don't forget about the pesto. Jump, jump, jump until you let go. One time, two, then take your body back. One time, two, sail offshore. One time, two, then take your body back. One time, meet you at the uncle. Then take your body back. Down, coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot, never mind your liver. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center Stage.
Welcome indeed. Tuesday night, every single Tuesday night without fail. Gino's spot is on all the way from Gqeberha for all the Gqeberhis in the Eastern Cape as well. Everybody from East London and Konke and Komani and good Lord, all over the place. Kariga, we hope that the NMB is all here as well today because we have a special guest, the executive mayor today, Retief Odendaal is in the studio. So get your questions flying in. You can ask whatever you like. Just ask. Just put it in the comments, and we'll have a look and see what we can get through as well. And Brian Wilkinson, I see, is already on board saying, "How's it, Brian? Nice to see you this beautiful evening. It's actually very nice. We've got a bit of a chill in the air, but yet no rain. No rain. So we're going to ask the mayor when the metro is going to make it rain." We'll see. We'll write our letters to God and see what's going to happen because we need it, and we've had this piss-willy little rain coming down the last little while, and it just hasn't been enough to even fill up the tanks. So a lot of us are running on the last bit of our tanks, but we hope they're going to fill up very shortly and get things going. I've decided to wear ek dra my poskantoor outfit vanaand, my klere, my poskantoor klere vir die metro. Want ons gaan 'n bietjie government goeders doen vanaand, is alles oor die metro. And it's going to be good fun. I think we're going to get to know our mayor in a personal way here tonight. Well, not in that kind of way, but you know what I mean, right? All right. So let me know what you're drinking. Thank you to our sponsors, of course, Spar. Thank you, Spar, for supporting us and supporting Gino's spot in bringing hopefully joy into people's homes on Tuesday night at 6:30, and also bringing some positivity to our metro. I don't want too much moaning. I want to build. We want to build this city. We're going to make PE. I've just come back from Cape Town. It was a great time in Cape Town, and I can see what can happen with a well-run metro. Man, it was fantastic, and I can see that PE can go the same way. We can do it. We can do. If you dream it, you can do it. Okay, so tell me what you're drinking. Tell me what you are, what you're doing. Anything you want to put in the comments. Say how's it to me. Another announcement I have to make is obviously on Saturday night, this 15th, the 15th of April. It's coming up now at the Music Kitchen. Check it out. Can you see around the corner over there? That's right. Tuba Mieki, myself, Tara Jane, and Wayne Callis. Can you see them? We are all going to do ready, steady, hit the dance floor at the Music Kitchen. That is for all of you who say to me every time you see me, where's the nice show that we can come and have a dance? Well, Saturday night, the Music Kitchen. Don't miss it. It's going to be a party. And I know we're selling tickets already. It's going to be awesome fun. So make sure you get your tickets for that show. See you on Saturday night at the Music Kitchen for a lekker dance and a bit of a jol. All right, so tell me what you're drinking. I'm having a little bit of Fitch and Leeds because they give away. We have a Fitch and Leeds giveaway at the end of the night. They give away a case of Fitch and Leeds to somebody, no matter where you are in South Africa. We can send it to you. We will send it post haste in my postmeester outfit. That's right. So let me sing you in. Let me sing you into the show. We'll do a little bit of a song, and I'll sing your comments. So put in some comments, and I'll sing them as we go along. All right. Bing, 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 bing. Biggie David Kramers. Lekker. Ek sê hello, Wendy Tompkins Thompson. Sy sê hello, I like your outfit. And Cheryl Porter Reynolds is there. Says, hey, Gino, real. Oh dear, oops, you made a little typo. Yes, Cheryl and John Starrock Best. Our Duracell Bunny Mayor, that's right. We just hope he doesn't run out of batteries. Yo, bye, Vinky, bye. Camilla Ellis is there. She's gonna ask so many questions, cause she's at the library every day there. At the woman library. Whoa, we built this city. That's right. We built this city on rock and roll. Maren van Eden Moss says good evening, Gino, of course. And Ian Oliver is there now. He's finished selling houses today. All right, Ian. He says, how's it? Gino and Superman, aka Retief. This Rory Norton is here too. I like your beard there, Rory. From the Independent Republic of Central. And Brian Wilkinson. Looking forward to your special guest tonight. I hope he's wearing the chain. He doesn't wear it somewhere like that. Yeah, Shirley Sitzman, great Guinness, a great guest, cannot wait. The weather guru is here. That's Garth Sampson from Spider-Man Weather Guru. Rita Volman, lekker to see you tonight. Looking forward to your show and a special mayor, Evangela Lakovidis. Fantastic Greek name. I'm glad all the way from Greece. Evangelica, I hope that you're all enjoying the show tonight. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we have the executive mayor in the studio tonight. So let us play the music. Welcome to the show. Now it's your turn to shine. We're gonna have a lekker chat tonight. Another good time. Mayor Odendaal, fantastic to have you on, man.
No, it's wonderful being here, Gino.
No, we've been chasing you down.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be here.
You know, I was chasing you down. I had to have you on at some stage, and I know that your life is just is not your own at all. I presume since you've been mayor, it's just not your.
It's been hectic, but it's an honor and it's a privilege. And yes, thank you for inviting me.
Anytime, it's an honor to have you on. And you know, it's always nice for you know the viewers out there just to get to know you as a person as well and see what makes you tick and what you love. You know?
There is something I want to say that if you're wondering out there, this is a real dop.
Yeah, this is a dop. This one, yeah, I'm gonna have a dop. Yeah. he's drinking cool drink tonight, but he has to because he's Maya, We'll see when he gets home. Maybe he'll have a bit of a dop. We never know. No, but mate, it's you've just come from a meeting somewhere. I don't know what you were doing tonight, but is it meetings every night?
No, well, look, most days consist out of the one meeting to the next. It's at least 12-hour days, and I was actually lucky to be able to go home quickly to just go and put a sweater on. I don't want to come here with a formal jacket.
No, we don't need all that.
You could leave the dressing up to you.
Yeah, no, this is Ricky outdates, serious. I think this is a 1970s post office outfit. Yeah, this one.
Yeah, I like the jacket. I can maybe
very
wear
nice.
it to council.
It's very so it looks like a kind of very formal anyway. And so let's just I think start off with the most pressing things at the moment in the metro and things that are bugging you at the moment. What's happening?
Well, I think, first of all, obviously the water crisis that we have, and there's just so many people that's in absolute denial about the fact that there's a potential that we can run out of water. In saying that, we are managing our available resources far better than we've done it in the past. We've brought online all the drought mitigation and water augmentation projects that were in the pipeline. We fast-tracked them, so there's a little bit more water available.
Is this nooit gedacht thing?
Nooit gedacht
Everybody's
is
talking about nooit gedacht, and it sounds like
phase.
it sounds like nooit gedacht is this massive pipe of water that's just where is it?
Ons het nooit gedacht dit gaan klaarkom. Anyway, but it is finished, and that brings us an additional 70 megalitres of water. Nooit gedacht in total provides us up to 210 megalitres of water. It's 210 million litres of water every day. And then we've also brought online a number of our borehole projects.
Yes.
In total, that will augment supply by about 50 megalitres of water. But you know what? The reality is that our dams are just depleted. Sitting at the bottom of the Impofo Dam, somebody reminded me that I'm the first mayor that's ever been able to sit there. Because it's the driest the dam has been since it's been constructed in 1983. That's 40 years. So there is the reality is that we are in the longest and most intense drought on record. So that's been the biggest challenge. The second challenge, obviously, that coincides with that is the fact that the metro has just been so broken over the last couple of years, and we're trying our level best to get it working again, getting it moving in the right direction. And I can just see, people in Nelson Mandela Bay deserve so much better. People from all communities, and we've seen an exponential decline in service delivery, and I hope that they've seen an increase in service delivery over the last 6 or 7 months. We've been doing our best in a very complicated coalition government, but I just also want to say, the support that we received from the public has just been absolutely amazing.
Good.
From people just stop me in the street and thank us for what we are doing, and I just want to, here's a tip from Retief Odendaal: never treat a politician like a celebrity, because we're civil servants. But I do want to say thank you very much for the support that you've given us, and for being on your knees and for praying for this coalition government, because that's what has happened here over the last couple of months, I think, was divine intervention. 10-party coalition, biggest in the country ever, biggest in the world,
apparently.
Yes.
The biggest coalition in the world, apparently. I don't know if anybody else has got any other figures, but it's huge.
It's massive. So it's not easy, but thank you for that ongoing support, and hopefully we can continue to get Nelson Mandela Bay working again.
There was a question up there, Gary. It said, Dean Allen says, surely Mr. Mayor being on Gino's spot is the highlight of your time in office.
No, absolutely. I mean, now I've made it,
Moss. He says, thank you for everything you do in the Bay. Thanks. That's Dean Allen, our
I must just check.
historian.
I mean, the last time mayors have been here, weren't they ousted very soon?
They were already ousted. So we've had, actually, Ngaba Banga was here and he was ousted. You're right. But that was a different time, Retief. So we are hoping that how long can you stay as mayor if you get voted in? Is it 5 years?
Yes, it's 5 years, but just remember that in Nelson Mandela Bay there's no outright majority for any party.
Yes.
And as I say, obviously a 10-party coalition. So to answer your question, how long is a piece of string?
Yeah.
We're trying to manage this, and I want to say that I commend our coalition partners. We try and take decisions collectively. We try and as I said to you earlier, there's no big brother in this coalition.
Yeah.
There's no smaller political party. We all equals, and we take decisions collectively, and we try and take the ego out of things and work together. It's worked up to now. And there's far smaller coalitions that haven't lasted as long.
Yeah.
So here's hoping that it will continue for the benefit of stability in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Yeah, I mean, if you consider how many parties are in there, it's actually quite a miracle that everybody's kind of working together. And is it a stable coalition this now? Is it ever stable?
Well, I think that's a very loaded question. I think that it is as stable as the coalition partners wants it to be. As I've said, it's not easy, and obviously there's issues that we deal with on an ongoing basis. But I've got faith that it will last, certainly a little bit longer, and we're hoping long enough to bring stability to the city and to ensure that service delivery has exponentially increased over the last couple of years. And it is a sad state of affairs. Just over the last 3 years, the city lost nearly R1 billion in grant funding because of its inability to spend it. Last year, for example, in February, the adjustments budget was passed 2 months late, and as a result, we were unable to spend our budgets then. That's before the new coalition took over. But I mean, those type of things, when you're sitting in a city with the lowest GDP per capita of all metropolitan municipalities, the highest unemployment rate, one of the biggest housing backlogs in the country, you don't want to be losing hundreds of millions of rands. You need to keep each and every cent here and spend it for the benefit of our city.
Yeah, I mean, I see this Kucha, that whole IDC there going, and our investment coming in there, I presume. But then there was talk about that Chinese company, that the car company that wasn't sort of producing and stuff. How is that whole IDC going?
No, I think it's going relatively well. I think it's managed very well. We had the unfortunate incident whereby one of the substations that was actually managed by an external party on behalf of the metro blew up. There's actually a forensic investigation because we believe that there was foul play and sabotage at play there. And that was quite a shock to us. But you know what, and I want to say this up front, I am so positive about Nelson Mandela Bay's prospects. We're a manageable city. We have problems, yes, we've got plenty of them, but we can attend to those. And I want to just share this one thing. People always compare us to Gauteng, what's happening in the bigger metros. But let me tell you about the city of Johannesburg. The city of Johannesburg just visited about a week and a half ago. And when you're on the highways and byways, it's absolutely in mint condition. Well, those highways and byways managed very well by SANRAL. But the moment you get off those highways and byways and you go to the feeder roads, the trunk roads, you can actually see how their road infrastructure is collapsing. They need 57 billion rand to catch up with their backlog. Then you go to their water infrastructure. They've got all the bulk water that they could possibly need because there was a lot of good rains. However, the water reticulation is falling apart. They can't get the water to the taps. And on any given day in Joburg, there are vast areas without water for days. So they've got, they need about 62 billion rand to get their water infrastructure up and running. They don't have that kind of money. So here's what I want to tell you, that over the next couple of years, people are going to leave, companies are going to leave Joburg, and they're going to go elsewhere. Where are they going to go? They're not going to go to eThekwini because they've got their own problems. They're not going to go to Cape Town because Cape Town is too busy and too expensive. And they've got a mountain slap bang in the middle of their city, so they can't develop anymore. They're going to come to a city that can actually handle it and have the ability to turn their own infrastructure backlogs around fairly quickly. Last thing I just want to say is people don't understand or don't realize that we also have the financial ability to deal with our infrastructure backlog because the city was so broken down over the last couple of years, we never spend our money. So we still have healthy cash reserves, some of the best in the country. Oh, wow. Actually.
That's good.
But so now we need to put that in working for you
and working properly, because I think that's the whole thing. It's this admin sort of story where we've got to get that money into the contractors or whoever's going to do it, and make sure it doesn't get siphoned off somewhere to the Guptas.
And supply chain is one of our biggest problems. Supply chain was broken down by design so that people can loot, because that's how you steal from municipality. You don't go to cash register and take money.
Yes,
you do it via tenders.
Yes.
And we're number one for one thing in the country. We've got 20 billion, that's billion with a B, in irregular expenditure on our annual financial statements. Now, that each and every cent represents money that was spent in contravention of supply chain procedures to facilitate looting in a lot of instances. And at the end of the day, that represents the highest amount ever spent in irregular expenditure of all provincial governments, of national governments. So we're not comparing ourselves with municipalities, we're comparing here with national government. And that is how bad looting was in Nelson Mandela Bay. That's why it's so important that we get this coalition to work and to remain in place and to keep making progress and to get our lovely city, I'm sure we all love, working again.
Because if it goes back, the looting is just going to start again. There's no doubt about it. Ronaldo Ghost, how's it, Ronaldo? He says, good evening. Who is the guest tonight? Don't really know this person. Sounds like he can sing quite nicely.
Yeah, Ronaldo, get back to your job. I'm sure there's somebody in your ward that wants attention.
There's always somebody in Ronaldo's ward that wants attention. Oh, no. But and your team, I mean, have you got a good team? What was there was a story about the way that you structure the people around you, the executive committee or whatever it is. What was the story there?
Well, I think that Gino, there was a complaint that there wasn't enough women on the mayoral committee, and very sadly, there's only one. But I was blamed for some other reason, not knowing that the only woman that was actually represented on the MACO was a DA representative. Okay. And the other 9 parties,
didn't put it on.
They didn't have any female representative, which is very sad. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, and I made this very clear, that I believe that it must be far more representative. But at the end of the day, I'm also not into bean counting.
Yeah.
And it's about being fit for purpose, making sure that we've got the right person there for the job. Yeah. And although it is sad that there's not more women representatives, those other parties don't have female representatives, and what do you do then? Yeah. Do you then just say, well, we can't put a coalition together because we can't get the diversity right?
You've got
representative. You can't do that.
Right people for the job as well. If you've got the people that use it, whoever it is, because it's desperation times. Actually, we've got to work, as quickly as possible to get this thing going.
But I do want to say, and let me put it straight out there, some of the best bosses I've worked with in the past were female.
Woman, yes.
And one of them is Helen, and she doesn't take any prisoners. I can tell you that. So,
we had her on the show. She's a granny, of course, but she can she knows what she's doing. She never puts a word wrong.
No, absolutely.
If she does, very thought about whatever she says. There's big for the one tweet, I think.
Let's not go there.
Which is still, it's still a story. Is there any other questions there, Gary? We can have a look before we get into the questions I got here. Garth Webster, is it truth and rumors that the farmers' dams upstream from the dam supply metro can cause a supply problem?
Look, we have had this discussion with the Department of Water Affairs, and we've asked them to actually look at the dams that were constructed over the last couple of years. We don't want to pick a fight with the farmers, but remember how your dams are built in agriculture. You actually have to apply for a license, and then the department will actually approve it. So if there's any illegal dams, those are the problems, not the ones that's been approved by the department, because they wouldn't have been approved without a decent investigation, and in certain instances EIAs that would have had to be approved. So those are all above board, and they shouldn't pose any problem. Where there are illegal dams, we've asked the Department of Water Affairs to take action, take stringent action.
Okay. Sure. I mean, so we think of that more the upriver, and there are a lot of farms. But the farmers are generally a lot of farmers are about just the community and getting everybody going.
Absolutely,
So,
nobody knows better than a farmer
Yeah.
the importance of
Relying on
water
other people.
and how important it is to conserve water. So I doubt very much that
Yeah.
our farmers are our biggest problem. They're not.
Yeah.
One of our big problems is the fact that we have not maintained our catchment areas, and there's so much invasive
Vegetation. Okay.
which needs to be removed, and we're trying to play catch up. It's really 50 years of vegetation that has not been controlled, and that is really something that we have to pay attention to.
Yeah. Okay. So and let's have a look here. See what else we've got here. See 10 in the coalition says Michelle Postma, and what's that? Gary says you've got a huge task in a task at hand. I'm sure. Sue Rhodes says, Mr. Mayor, there, what's saying? The epitome of saying a boer maak 'n plan. It's true. Oh, no. The city has the potential to become a haven for investors. I totally agree. I mean, if you're going to look at a city across South Africa, if you look at South Africa as a whole and you say, okay, where is the best potential for growth? It's PE. There's no doubt.
No doubt. And, we've got the most amazing climate here. Don't let anybody tell you that we are the windy city. We're not.
No,
Cape Town is the windy city.
More city.
And, what an amazing place to live. If you have a regular job, now, not my job, and you manage to get off work by 5 o'clock, you are able to get the dogs, get your wife, take them to the beach during summer, spend lovely 2 hours on the beach, and be able to go back and go and make dinner. Where else can you have that lifestyle? Here you don't have to be stuck in traffic for hours like in Cape Town, although I hear you, probably with load shedding, it's a little bit longer. But there's a solution. We're working on a solution. We're putting
So
UPS...
tell us about this. She says here, what are the plans to alleviate the metro from load shedding? Have we got any? Can we do it as a metro?
So first of all, let me just say that we don't impose load shedding. NERSA and Eskom impose load shedding on us. And if we don't load shed, they will cut off the city. They'll stop supply to the city all at once, and the entire city will be in dark. So we have to load shed. That's the first point. Second point, what are we doing innovatively? Soon there'll be an announcement from a very prominent business person in Nelson Mandela Bay that's assisted us in getting some donations for UPSs and inverters for some of our traffic lights. We're so super excited about that. And it's a brilliant initiative. And probably shouldn't have said that, but we're going to...
Those are big metal boxes that I've been seeing on Facebook.
Some of that, yes.
Okay, it's secret. It's still secret, but you heard first on here.
That's going to prevent certain intersections from being affected by load shedding. So the area might be load shedded, but the intersection will be live, which is absolutely amazing, and it's going to have a massive impact on our motorists. Thank you very much for being patient over the last couple of years. But we know load shedding is not going to go away. I mean, I was in a meeting with Andre de Ruyter just before he left, and to me it was very, very clear that Eskom and its woes is going to be with us for many, many more years, and that the city has to be innovative. And we have an MMC for electricity and energy, lovely, brilliant councillor. His name is Lance Grootboom.
Yes.
And he's come up with some innovative ideas together with some of his very competent staff. And one of it is the fact that we're going to procure 100 megawatts of electricity from independent suppliers. Because we realize that if we're not going to break the stronghold that Eskom has over the city, we're going to be stuck with load shedding here for the next 10 years. And I imagine it would be a travesty.
And if the metro can itself can work as a group to try and do this. I mean, I see all these wind farms. Where is that electricity going? Is that
that goes into the grid, but it goes to Eskom. That doesn't come to us.
The national side. Yeah. Can't we keep that stuff? Yeah.
No,
we need
it's
to
a little bit more complicated. But I mean, the point is made. And I was at a launch together with Lance and with a number of the other coalition partners at a farm the other day where they're going to generate electricity from. So we're trying to assist these type of initiatives where we can, because they are definitely going to be the game changers for us in the future. Because if, as a manufacturing hub here, if we don't have a reliable supply of electricity, we're dead in the water. The city will die. And and we wanted to grow exponentially
Well,
and attract investors from elsewhere.
Exactly. I mean, imagine if you're in Joburg and you're or Pretoria or Durban, wherever you are, and you're getting load shedded all the time, and you want to start a new factory. Where are you going to come? You're going to come where there's electricity.
Absolutely.
So if you can make that here in the Eastern Cape, then we're gonna fly as a province as well as a city. I mean, obviously we do.
And it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
But you need to be geared towards investment.
Yeah.
And towards being receptive to investors. And unfortunately, I'm very sad to say that Nelson Mandela Bay has not always been open for business. I always used to say Frank Sinatra used to sing in New York, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. So I used to say I say to business owners here, if you've made it here over the last couple of years, you can practically make it anywhere. Going forward.
True.
So it was difficult but now we believe that it's a little bit easier. You can pick up the phone, phone us, and we try and unblock whatever blockages there is in.
And is the private sector getting involved as well?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Amazing. I mean, our relationship with the business chamber and with
Denise
civil society over the last couple of months have just boomed. And we're just so thankful for everybody coming on board saying, send us, we want to assist, we want to be able to do our little bit. And it's just absolutely amazing. And you know, I always say as well that don't leave your future in the hands of somebody else. Don't trust a politician that you don't know. Take your future in your own hands. The future of your children. Get involved, albeit in your neighborhood watch or a CPF or something. Your local church or an NGO. Just get involved. The time where we've relied on politicians to get us out of the mess that we're in is gone. I think politicians have proven that the majority of them are unable to do it. That coming from a politician.
Saying as well.
I don't know if
that's
the trustworthy source.
It's take the ego out of it. That's the whole thing. It's not about it's public servants. You're servants to the public in the end. That's
absolutely,
your job.
And we must look for solutions together.
Yeah, for sure.
Civic society together with the politicians, and if politicians, allows their egos to get the better of them, then those politicians need to go.
Out they go. We can't have that sort of thing. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of a thing called actually. Wait, before we go, we've got a couple more questions. Otherwise, we're going to run out of time for questions. Let's have a look at some of these questions before we go to we're getting to know you section. Mr. Mader, how does the process work in reporting the abuse of municipal water vessel?
Oh, it's a very, very serious question.
Yes, it is, rather.
It's a very serious question, and we deal with this on a daily basis. So, first of all, we want people to be whistleblowers. If you think that somebody is topping up their pool with municipal water, or they're topping up their tanks, I can't understand why you would have rainwater harvesting tanks and top it up with municipal supply. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, if that happens, then you need to be able to report that, and you report it to the toll-free number 0800 20 50 50, and or your local ward councillor, which is also very helpful ordinarily, and then you're also welcome to phone Metro Police. But at the end of the day, just do something. And there's a municipal Facebook page. I've got a Facebook page where you can report it. There's a lot of ways to report it and do your duty, because at the end of the day, Gino, we cannot allow the city to run out of water. If it does, it will be dead in the water. Our economy will collapse. It will take us decades to recover. But I'm positive it won't happen. But then we need help, like responsible people like Vessel to
especially people abusing it. I mean, because there's no excuse for that. It's like people topping up these tanks to go and sell the water somewhere else. I mean, the guys will try any sort of scam to get money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can save water by drinking.
Fitch and Leeds. There we go. They get them water from Cape Town and Joburg. Oh man, Evangelia. What is the city doing about vandalism of traffic lights? I mean, I see those big iron things now for the batteries and stuff. That'll be nice. But is there a problem there?
So one of the things that people don't realize is how things were done in the past. So every time the signaling of a traffic light intersection is vandalized.
Yes.
It can cost the city anything between 150 and 250,000 to replace it. And very often we would replace it, and within 48 hours it would be vandalized again. So I looked at this and I said, no, leave the street lights, the traffic light intersections, because we can't until we've got a solution.
Yeah.
And then we came up with we had a number of prototypes. We investigated using. Making a use of all sorts of innovative ideas. But then what we decided on was building these cages, and they don't come cheap.
Yeah.
But we built a prototype, we put it up in Stanford Road, and at an intersection that was continuously vandalized, more than 10 times over the last 2 years.
Okay.
And 2 months later, it was still there, intact. Worked brilliantly.
So far, so good.
And then we started rolling it out. So I'm very happy to report that we've now have a whole production line of those cages, and we're going to put them up. The next intersection is going to be after Stanford Road's completed. We're soon going to start with Commercial Road, and that's unfortunately what we have to do to make sure that we protect our assets against vandalism. Because what we can't do is we can't keep wasting money. I mean, I can't handle wasting money, and we won't be doing that. So we came up with this innovative solution, and it's working. My advice that I gave to the team is they only had one key. Because they were too scared to make a lot of keys. So they made one key. I said, you bloody well, they have to make a second one. Just now, we couldn't get into our own boxes, so they made two keys. Only 2 keys.
All right,
but it's
2 keys each.
And that was my contribution. I think it was a sterling contribution, don't you think?
Very good. Very good. Okay, so, and I mean, I presume they're not doing it to sell them. It's just vandalism. So it's just that signalling, the copper in that, they will sell for a couple of $100. And it's really sad, and it costs us hundreds of thousands of rand. We end up spending in excess of about 20 million rand a year on replacing copper cabling and signaling and so on. So it's hectic. I see Gary's put up the number there for the is that for reporting crimes and faults and things. There we go. There's a number, guys. If you see somebody vandalizing something, or they're stealing water, or they're doing that's the number. 800,
or if you get fed up with your mayor, you can also phone out to replace him.
Yes, the mayor. Replace that mayor. There we go. Lisa Latard says, can we not start recycling projects in PE where it will help the landfills and maybe help create a few jobs?
We are actually looking at that, and it's sad to say that in NMB we haven't focused on that. You know, the crazy thing about landfills is that it is so expensive to replace them, and both Kuduskloof towards Kariga and Arlington is nearing the end of its lifespan. So we either have to put aside at least 50 million rand for redevelopment of landfill sites and identify additional spaces which you don't want. Or you can start being innovative and manage the amount of waste going into those landfill sites. So that's what we're doing at the moment. It should have been done a long time ago. And but it wasn't, and now we have to make sure that we quickly put plans in place. But we have to recycle. I mean, that's the only way we're gonna keep our planet.
And there are, I mean, there are recyclers in town, and I know that there are quite a lot of them, and I'm sure they would all be keen on helping and trying to get it.
It's also such a lot of money in waste. So we're putting a lot of money into our landfill sites that can actually be used.
Yeah, and it just sorted. What attention is given to our police service? Our security companies are doing a brilliant job of efficient policing. Yeah, so the police stations need panic buttons to call on response.
So look, Brian, to be frank with you, SAPS obviously is a national competency, and it doesn't fall within our jurisdiction, but we do our level best to work hand in hand with SAPS. And you know, I want to tell you this sad story, and maybe this is the last sad story I'm going to tell you, because I don't want to depress you. You need to be happy and positive.
Yes.
But up until 2018, the city invested about 300 million rand on CCTV cameras and supporting infrastructure. And since 2018, it's just been allowed to go to rack and ruin. And when we had these recent spate of killings in especially the northern areas as well as KwaZulu, I asked the MEC Nwata, what can we do as a city to to assist, because obviously we've got the Metro Police, but they're more into bylaw enforcement. And how can we support SAPS? And he came to us and he said, the one thing I want from you is being able to have surveillance in areas where there might not be private security companies providing that service already. And I was so ashamed because I had to tell him that in many areas, most areas, we don't have that infrastructure anymore, although we had it. So 300 million rand worth of infrastructure just down the drain, and we have to start from scratch again. And my colleague, MMC Lawrence Truan, is currently busy trying to make sure that we get that infrastructure back on track.
The cameras and the stuff, and
Because
security.
the opportunity cost, I want to say, yes, very sad about the fact that we've lost all that money, but it's not even the money, it's the lives that were lost as a result of a city allowing that infrastructure to go to rack and ruin. It should never happen again.
People
must never happen.
need to feel safe in their city. They have to feel safe. It's one of your basic things you want to get right. Brendan Pegram says, "Good evening, Mr. Mayor. What's been done about illegal scrapyards? I think that's the place where this stuff ends up, isn't it?"
Brendan is also a colleague of mine, so he probably needs to answer one of his residents, and now he's passing his difficult question on to me. So thank you, nice one, Brendan. I'm going to send you one of my difficult queries. But I think it is a very, very pertinent question. What we are investigating at the moment is the ability to create a bylaw that would actually prevent, and I'm going to get probably land in hot water here, but prevent the second-hand trading of copper.
Yes.
That's both purchasing and selling. Because the reality is that we do all these site visits, we go and do inspections at scrapyards, try and close down illegal scrapyards, but go to the ones that's actually registered. We get there, and very often when you inspect the copper, they've got the correct details of the people that sold them the copper. There's normally not more than 100 grams of copper at any place. So it looks like there's no problem, but we know that there is a problem because we're losing millions of rands in public infrastructure, and not just the municipality. We also have an entire private sector that is extremely hard hit with vandalism. I mean, we're thinking of people, and especially our industrial areas, Deal Party, where they're continuously being hit, other areas as well. So it's really, really bad. We need to be able to stop the trading. And I know it's going to make a lot of people upset, and they're probably going to challenge it in court. But what else do we do to prevent this scourge of vandalism against?
There's somebody saying stop the sale of copper. It's absolutely. And same thing, report it if you see it. Leander Kruger is also online. I see. Tell us the story behind the viral picture of you fixing chairs in the channel. I saw that there were chairs that you fixed. You're quite good at fixing chairs.
I'm quite good at doing a lot of things. Modesty and humility, I'm best attributes. No, I'm just kidding. So one of the things that is probably not a good attribute is the fact that I get impatient. And if I have to ask for something to be done, and I have to ask a couple of times, and it's something that can be done relatively easy, I very often decide to do it myself. So, and that is what happened. I looked at the chairs. Initially, the administration wanted to replace the chairs, and they were genuine leather chairs. They were in perfect condition, other than a couple of broken ones that could have been fixed relatively easy. They wanted to replace them with some horrific faux leather chairs, and I said no. I mean, these things are worth a fortune. And then when I kept asking, but won't you just fix it, and they wouldn't fix it, I decided, well, I'm going to fix it myself. And one of my colleagues, Brendan, actually, I think, assisted me in and it was an afternoon's work, and they're in perfect condition. Beautiful. They were put in, I think they were installed in 1978. I promise you they're good to go for another 50 years. So if any of you are still around about 50 years, go and check whether the chairs are still there. Because I don't think at the kind of stress I'm working under, I'll be around in 50 years. But,
they're brilliant. I love it. And the stuff always, you don't get that leather.
If it works, it works. Why do you want to replace them? And it's also part of our heritage, I think.
Vanessa's saying, why do we not have traffic controllers with the lights on working? Target Cliff becomes a huge huge problem in the morning when the lights are operational. People hired people to come. Is that traffic department
So,
job?
you know, hopefully we'll be able to sort out that specific traffic light with
the batteries and the-
inverters and so on, because it is a big problem. But what I think our residents don't realize is that we actually have at any given time a lot of traffic lights that are non-functional, either through load shedding or through vandalism. Yeah. And we have to look at Kariga, we have to look at the R75, we have to look at New Brighton, we have to look at Motherwell. It's a vast area, and there's 100 traffic cops that works for us. And not all of them can be on the roads because there's different functions. So we try and get as many out every morning, but it is not that easy, and we just don't have enough. So with the move to try and alleviate the effects that load shedding is giving us, I think that those intersections won't be covered by UPSs or these inverters. They will be manned, and I think that for everybody out there in all communities, they are just going to see a vast improvement on these intersections.
Okay, backlogs on potholes. Here we go, Andrew Barker.
Rumours of potholes in Nelson Mandela Bay has been grossly exaggerated. I've got no knowledge of any. Andrew, yes, unfortunately, there has been a massive backlog created in road maintenance, and sometimes it's exacerbated by our own departments that don't manage their budgets very well. Between September last year and December, we managed to actually fill 12,000 potholes. And then there was a bit of a lull for a couple of weeks in January because they ran out of budget. And it's the strangest thing because every time, we check what the cash flow is, at any given time in the city, there's about 3.8 billion rand in the bank account. So there's a lot of money, but obviously you can't just spend money. You must have a budget line item, and you must be able to function within. So sometimes there's a management problem, but we topped up that budget, and they have started exponentially to fill potholes and fix them properly, not just dump coal tar and fix them properly. But there has been some steady improvement on our road maintenance over the last couple of months, and I'm very proud of that. It's not perfect. It's going to take us a while to get where we wanted to be, but lo and behold, we never wanted to be where Joburg is with the 57 billion rand. We will never be able to fix it.
No, I think with a slightly smaller metro, we can do it.
No, we can do it. Unfortunately, there's also certain areas we are being let down by the provincial government. I'm not going to badmouth the provincial department, but you look at Mission Road, for example. You look at Rocklands Road. Those roads are provincial roads. You look at the R75, which is the Utenac Road. I mean, that's a Sanral Road, and it's not being maintained.
Why is Sanral doing so well there in Joburg seems to be, but not down
here?
So
some exciting news, and maybe I'm also not allowed to say that's trade secrets. But
first on Gino's spot.
You're getting a lot of scoops tonight. Sanral is planning a road, a three-way management system. Like they have in the city of Cape Town, like they have in Joburg and Ekurhuleni. They're going to actually start very soon here in Nelson Mandela Bay. And I think that they have, as a result, not necessarily focused that much on maintenance because they know that they're going to invest quite a bit of money on these roads. Obviously, there's been some very stern communications from our office to Sanral saying that we want you to maintain. We want the guardrails to be fixed when they've been damaged. We want you to maintain your road markings. We want you to be able to maintain your traffic lights. We want you to cut the grass in our middlemen. And unfortunately, that's not been happening. And it's a very sad story because R75 is one of the complaints that I get on a daily basis. A number of times.
Yeah, it's. I've just come from Cape Town. I was there last week over Easter, and
what did you do there? Nobody can afford to go to Cape Town.
No, we had a family birthday. It was lovely. Okay. I'd just been there for a little while, but the infrastructure is they're doing so well, and they have these road cleaning machines, these trucks that clean the roads with a zzz. Haven't we got some of those?
We had it a couple of years ago. Yeah, Nelson Mandela Bay asked the public to help clean the roads.
We're going to get spades. That's what we're going to do. Any plans for the cleanup in Richmond Hill central areas in terms of the drug element? Plenty of clients in the area, and visiting the premises is quite an experience. Yeah, I see the central SRA is also
They've
involved.
been doing absolute amazing work. And very soon we are going to be partnering up with a lot more of our neighborhood watchers and CPS, and also try and empower them, because that is going to make a massive difference in the fight against crime and dealing with issues such as the drug problems that we have in Central. At the end of the day, we know SAPS have got resource issues, and the city, Nelson Mandela Bay, also has resource issues. We've got, I think, 22 Metro Police officers, and if you have to divide those into four teams, basically, 4 shifts, it doesn't really go a far way.
Is that a budget problem from national budget side, that we can't get enough police here?
No, so Metro Police is actually funded by the city. You know, but
you're talking about Metro Police now,
yes,
not SAPS.
yes. SAPS obviously have got resource problems, I think, all over the country, and I mean we're well aware that they just don't have the necessary resources. That's why it's so important that we do empower neighbourhood watcher CPFs to work adjacent to SAPS and Metro Police, and we do this whole of society approach. That is how you get the city and your neighbourhoods working again.
Okay, I'm gonna get on to some of these getting to know you questions here. This is now the Retief Odendaal, the real person, as opposed to the executive mayor, the Retief Odendaal. Okay,
I don't know whether I should be scared.
And go for it. Let's have a look.
Get to know you, get to know all about you.
All right, first question is a pivotal moment in your life that had a significant impact on your personal or professional journey.
I think my marriage to my wife. We were high school sweethearts, and I don't always tell her this, but I mean, she really has been a tremendous support to me, and I'm never at home, and I haven't been for many years, and she's never complained. She's always been supportive, and I can always go home and know that my wife will never talk politics to me, because she's not interested in politics. So it's exactly the place I want to go. So I would say my marriage to Annie, and I think also the birth of my first child, Ludik. He's just turned 11 in February, and I think the one regret that I will always have is not maybe spending enough time with my family, but
I suppose it's a season in your life as well. It's not going to be forever like this. You will settle eventually. You know?
What do you say? They're going
We're
to
gonna kick you out again.
All this time.
No, but you're 40, right?
Yes,
You're
yes.
40 years old. I mean, you don't look a day older, younger than 60, 65. I say.
That's what 7 months of being an executive mayor in Nelson Mandela Bay will. You should have seen me 7 months ago.
You're the youngest. Are you the youngest mayor ever?
I'm not too sure about that statement. I think Mr. Nlebafaku could have been younger than me.
Is he younger than you?
He's not younger than me now, but I mean.
When you became.
So I must actually check that with Nleba.
You're right.
From time to
Yes.
time. Yeah.
Okay. A person that's had a major influence on your, or a mentor in your life.
I think politically there's been a number of them. We had a ward council, a caucus leader, Nelson Mandela Bay, Leon de Villiers, I think has been was a mentor to me, and there was a few. I've got a friend of mine, Andrew Whitfield, who lives around the corner here actually, and a member of Parliament now. I consider him to be a very close friend, and he was a mentor to me. And then one of our former mayors, Afro Trollope.
That's all. What a legend. He's
Yeah.
he's been on the show, and I love him. He's strong-willed, knows, just very direct.
So you see, I gave you 3, and I took the best elements out of all 3 of them.
Excellent. I'm so glad. And did you grow up in PE?
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely.
Born and bred, or?
Born and bred here.
Okay.
Went to varsity here, got my legal degree.
Okay.
And,
Okay, so you're a lawyer.
Yes, absolutely. Still have my practice. Although I can't really practice anymore, and some people working there. Very small practice, you know.
Okay.
But I'll never give it up, because I believe that no politician worth his salt can understand the issues that civic society, and especially the business fraternity, faces. If you don't work in or come from the private sector, you need to understand what it is to make ends meet, and to actually grow your business and be able to function.
Well, I'm sure having a law background is also puts you in good stead being executive mayor. There's just lots of stuff in the courts as well, you know. Always.
Yeah, no, absolutely, especially in Nelson Mandela Bay.
I know this coalition story, but we'll get to that. The most challenging obstacle that you faced in your life, and how did you overcome it?
Most challenging, I think, is possibly being tasked with the challenge I have now, and that is being to keep the coalition together. And I think that as much as it is a tremendous honour, I knew that there was a lot at stake here, and that the city was at a low point, and that we had to make this work, even if it was for a short while. We had to make it work, because there were literally 1.4 million people counting on us to make this work. And I'm just thankful for the fact that God blessed me with the wisdom to be able to navigate this road, and continues to give me that wisdom, and also all the prayers and the support we get, and advice we get. We get a lot of advice.
Oh, good.
I'm going to ask you for advice. I'll ask everybody for advice.
I've got plenty of advice. No, it's certainly, you hit on it in the beginning when you said take the ego out of it, because if you are working towards a city and working with the people of the city, they're immediately going to be attracted to that, and will work with you as well. I can see there's a vast amount of encouragement, as opposed to moaning, that I see when people talk about the mayor. It's normally a positive thing first about the mayor, then they might moan about what's happening in the city, but the mayor's doing a great job, and that just says, it speaks volumes.
Well, I've got an ear to listen, so I don't mind people moaning. You're right.
And being approachable, you know, you're totally approachable. Okay, so describe a time when you had to navigate a challenging ethical dilemma.
Challenging ethical
how do you
dilemma.
apply?
Ooh, that is a very, very
It's a tough one, eh?
I think, I don't know if I've ever encountered such an issue. There might have been in politics a number of instances where I just stuck to my principles. You know, I'm not, and I'll make this very clear. I'm not going to try and hang on to this position and sacrifice my principles and values, and nor should anybody. Because ultimately, you must be able to live with yourself. So I think that in politics that happens almost on a daily basis. But I've been very. I think I can be very thankful for the fact that I just always stuck to my guns, and I've been very principled. I'm not prepared to sacrifice my principles, and I'm not prepared to compromise my values. Yeah,
when you get to that point, and there's a line that if it's crossed, then that's it.
Yes, absolutely.
Has that been a thing in your life?
Yes, no, and look, obviously, it sounds that it is easy to say, but it's actually easy to do as well. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I'm still a person that believes that if you enter into agreement with somebody, you don't actually need a contract. Yes, I'm an attorney, so it will be.
Yes.
But you do it.
A handshake.
You do it by a handshake.
Absolutely,
and once you've agreed, you stick to your word. And that's how my father taught me, and that's the person I still am.
Yeah. I should have just said something there quickly before I shook my hand. I could have scored something. All right. This is the also the getting to know you. Do you have any hobbies? Things that you do? Stuff that you love?
Yes, so I do like working with my hands, and I relax. Look, the one thing I have to say, I can never sit still. I need to be doing something. So even when I'm on holiday, I need to be able to do something. I was just away for over the Easter weekend with my family to a place where there was no reception in Tsitsikamma, and I ended up convincing the kids to do 2 beach cleanups with me because I just couldn't sit still. Yeah. So when I'm at home, I do renovations to the house. I do maintenance. I love working with my hands. You see, that's why.
But you're just saying that because your wife tells you what to do.
No, well, she tells me I fix all the metro stuff and I do nothing at home. But that's not entirely true. I'm actually good at doing things at home, and I can fix things often fix things at my friend's house. And, you know, yeah.
I've got a couple of things over here. You can have a look at my gutters.
I'll check it out.
Are you related or distantly related to anyone really famous?
No, sadly, not at all. Yeah.
I was just trying to think of any famous Odendaals.
No, there's none. Sadly, not particularly good looking and not particularly, intellectual either. So.
Where were you at school?
I was at Otto du Plessis.
Otto du Plessis.
Yeah.
I'll say yes, sir. And primary school as well. Is it?
Yeah,
both?
I was
all the way through.
No, I was at Chart van der Walt, and then I went
Chart van der Walt.
Yeah.
Yes, so nee.
Yeah.
Okay, lekker. So it's proper Afrikaans upbringing.
Proper Afrikaans. I mean, I basically only learned to speak English in sort of like the latter part of high school. You know, and I don't know if I speak it that well.
Deliciously
now.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Fine.
All right. If you had a warning label, what would yours say?
I talk a lot.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Praat baie.
Yeah.
No.
I actually do, and I can be very long-winded. And when I say to cut a long story short, you better know that story is going to be the longest bloody story you've ever heard in your life.
I like that. Really good. Okay, the craziest thing you've done in the name of love. Annie, you can write it down here if you want to.
No, she's going to be very upset with me but I think it's the second time I'm sharing it in public. So we were high school sweethearts, and we went out for about 3 years, and then she found somebody else. And she left me. And then I tried to get her back, and at that stage, she worked at the airport. She still works at the airport, but before there was the traffic roundabouts or the traffic circles. There were actually traffic signals there, traffic lights. So I made myself a little placard, and I went to go and stand there at that traffic light. And
at the airport.
Yes, at the airport, in peak traffic, and on the cardboard it said, "Got food, got money." Not that I really had, but I mean, got money. Yeah. And need love, please take me back, Annie. And then she came past me, and she was mortified that I would do something like that. And then she picked me up, and we had a conversation. And needless to say, she didn't take me back.
And it was all for nothing.
It was all for nothing. And then we went our separate ways. And about 2.5 years later, we got back together again, and I think that is about 17 years ago again. So I mean, we've been together ever since.
So what your bachelor's party was like nothing after that.
No, nothing at all. Anyway,
she's
never going to forgive me that.
What a great story! That's a fantastic story, actually. Okay, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Now that's the thing, because you just never know with the coalition.
Well, I don't think as mayor, because I'll probably be dead.
If you carry on as mayor.
I think that just being able to make a difference, I don't believe that I'm going to be in politics forever. I come from the private sector. I think that there's a time to come and a time to go. But I do want to say that what I do on a daily basis is not a job. I love what I do, and I love being able to make a difference. So wherever I am, whether it still be in public service at that stage. I just hope that I can still be able to make a difference. And I've always said to all my colleagues that whether you're in government, whether you're in opposition, you must just be able to make a difference.
Yeah.
Because if you can't make a difference, why should people vote for you? And why are you doing what you're doing? And at the end of the day, you must just enjoy what you do. And I'm so blessed to be able to be in a position where I can make a difference, and that I absolutely enjoy going to the office every morning.
Yeah.
And it's just been so much fun.
Would you say that that's the reason that you got into politics? Why would you, why did you get into politics? Why do people get into politics?
I don't know how to answer that question, but I always knew at school I was going to be an attorney. Okay. And then ever since I was on the junior city council, I wanted to be on the city council.
Okay.
And I don't know too much what it entailed at that stage. And then by the age 26, I was both an admitted attorney, and I became one of the youngest councillors to be elected to Nelson Mandela Bay Town Council.
Junior City Council. Okay.
No, the real council after that.
Council. Okay.
So I just knew in high school I was going to be. Was the strangest thing. I told people I was going to be an attorney. I'm going to be a city councillor, and I did that. So
so it was like a kind of a goal. It's like
if I knew then what I know now, I would have done it exactly the same way. I would have done it exactly the same way.
Would you?
Yes, no regrets. Love what I do. Wow. I was a councillor for about 10 years, and then I went to the provincial legislature for 3 years, which was a remarkable journey that a friend of and colleague of mine, Bobby Stevenson, suggested I should do, and I think that I grew as a person and as a leader, and I think it prepared me for this new role.
Yeah, I mean, you always think about politician. If you start in politics, you've got to watch everything that you say. You cannot be, you've got to be so careful about offending people. I suppose comedy is very similar. But
Yeah. Well, I often have a foot in mouth, saying things I shouldn't say.
Yeah, no, sure.
It comes with the territory of talking too much.
But it becomes it's a real person. That's what everybody's going to do it at something at some stage. Okay, your favorite singer or band?
I've got such a wide variety.
Eclectic tastes.
I would say I absolutely love Rolling Stones still.
Stones.
Absolutely.
You're a Stones guy.
Them.
You should have done a Stones
but
song.
At the same time, I can also tell you they also like Klipwerf Boerorkest.
Oh,
It's a massive. No, I listen to absolutely everything, and I'm very easy when it comes to music.
Okay.
I think the only thing I don't really do is rap.
Rap, you don't like rap.
It's not really.
Yeah, rap. I'm on the hedge with the rap. I'm not sure now.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of rap songs that.
But I can listen to absolutely classical music. Love absolutely everything. Everything has got its time and its place, and I can really enjoy a wide variety of music.
Okay,
Makes me an easy guest at a party if you ever want to invite me.
Hey yo, Rolling Stones, baby. I like that. Okay, a favorite game or sport to watch?
Well, rugby, cricket, I think,
Otto du Plessis seker rugby geweest.
Ja.
Atletiek.
Nee? I don't have an
Spiesgooi.
athletic body anymore.
Discus. Hamergooi. Hy's so goed. What is the one thing that you will never do again?
One thing I would never do again.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a probably stand at a traffic light with a cardboard.
We'll try a different way.
Asking a girl to take me back, because had I know then what I know now, no, let me not. My wife will be very upset. No, I would do that again.
We're going to have that thing with the thing. We'll wait for you. Obviously, I've got a couple of questions that I got from Ian von Mematu, who is our political correspondent, who's at the moment on the ships.
All the difficult questions, but I'm also just seeing
some
all of those
questions,
very difficult questions. I'm going to have to go back
there's
and
underground
answer.
sewage leaks. There's things we're going to be.
I'll go to them after.
We'll go to some of them
tomorrow
afterwards.
morning, and I'll see what I can do.
Tell us about you. We've heard a lot about your job. Tell us about you and your family. That's what we've heard quite a lot about. Have you got kids?
Yes, I've got 3 kids.
3 kids?
Yeah, so Ludik 11, Leon is 9 years old. turning 9 on Sunday.
Okay.
And then Luca, our little
Luca,
girl,
va bene italiano. It's a beautiful Italian name, Luca.
and she's turning 6 in September. Yeah, so
Oh, lovely. Okay, so so quite
we're
young
stopping
still,
at 3.
Stopping at 3, you know. So I thought maybe you were Catholic after 3 kids. So I'm Catholica, you know. All right, and okay. I've asked some of the questions here that is in yes, but your biggest challenges in the metro faces are obviously water, electricity. I don't know.
Yeah, basic service
those
delivery and the big backlogs that we've seen over the last couple of years, just getting the administration to function again. It has been broken by design, as I've said, and getting it functioning. To break something down, to break a government institution or department or municipality down is easy.
Yeah.
But to rebuild it takes years, and people are so scared they don't want to take decisions. And I always say that the worst thing than taking the wrong decision is not taking any decision at all. And we find it on a daily basis. You know, people will phone me and say, "Hey, we've been stuck with this town planning amendment, and it's been ongoing for 4 years, but it's stuck on somebody's desk, and somebody just didn't want to deal with a document, or you know, didn't know what to do with it, and that's very frustrating."
Yeah. Okay, leading the coalition. Okay, well, I said we'd get back to the coalition story. It's always difficult because of the constant compromise and consulting. Are there any benefits to a coalition government?
I think that the benefits is that we've seen in South Africa that there's been that absolute power corrupts in certain instances, and we've seen some of the worst governments by the ruling party where they had majority governments. And in Nelson Mandela Bay, I've been very, very clear that I don't think the ANC deserves to be in power here, because they have failed Nelson Mandela Bay dismally in a number of forms of government. And I've said that any coalition government, even a 10-party coalition government, as difficult as it is to manage, is better than having an ANC government here. And I'm not saying that I don't know how they can clean up the act. They've proven to be dismally at doing that. But I'm saying right now, as the ANC is, they don't deserve to be in power here. And I will do absolutely everything in my ability to keep them out of power here. And that is working together in a coalition, trying to improve the city.
Long-term dream for the metro?
Well, to have a city that works, and to be able to get a city that promises a better future for all our residents, regardless where they reside. I think that over the last couple of years we've seen that the city has stagnated because of the squabbling, the instability in the administration. Let me tell you this, I mean, I don't know if you know, but between 2009 and last year, there were 57 municipal managers in the city. 57. Now, think of your own company and your own boss. If you had, on average, 3 to 4 CEOs in your company, you know, it would have probably gone belly up. So, and that explains the exponential collapse of Nelson Mandela Bay over the last couple of years, because there were just this instability. We were also about 10 mayors between 2009 and now, the 10th one. But I think the reality is that we just want a functioning metro. Then also be able to become a destination of choice. People need to understand what potential the city has. And I make no, I don't try and hide the fact that I market our city as an affordable family destination. I don't know, you know, who can still afford to go to Cape Town and go on holiday there, but you can stay in a 5-star hotel in Nelson Mandela Bay for the same price that you'll be able to stay in a 3-star hotel in Cape Town. And we've got just the most amazing climate. Look at our beautiful summer season that we've had. Beautiful weather. And then we run it down as residents. Never ever talk about us as the windy city. We're not the windy city. In fact, we've got one of the most moderate climates in the world. So ideal place to stay. We've got 2 ports, only a city in South Africa that's got 2 ports, becoming a gateway to Africa, being able to export and import. But here's the thing. We have a couple of difficult decisions which council has already started taking. A couple of well-made investments into water, sanitation, and electricity infrastructure, and it will be game changer for Nelson Mandela Bay and for all of us. We still have some of the cheapest property in South Africa, and I promise you, if we get this right here, your investment in property, your primary residence or any other investment is going to do this.
Yeah.
And what a good story that is.
Yes, that'll be. I know it's going to come. It's got to.
It will. It
It's
must.
got to. It's got to.
We know we're sitting on a good thing here.
It's the only way. The only way is up. The only way is up. I just Camilla also she sent me a question before we even got here as well. We've had some questions
Camilla.
coming in. Yeah, she's at the
Parker
Walmer
Bowles.
Library. Yes, Parker Bowles. Camilla Parker Bowles. There she is. Look how nicely he's blushing. She says, "What is your story?" She wants to know about the Water and Sanitation Act that you referred to in a recent electricity bill. It seems that if you don't get permission from the director and have a plumber's certificate for your water tank, it's not legal. What are with the water tanks and things? What are the legalities?
No,
there?
it certainly doesn't affect your water tanks. I know I've got 2 water tanks, and I certainly don't have
nothing.
any permission for that. But
Fake news.
But for boreholes, you actually
boreholes.
do need to register your boreholes, and that's just an administrative process. I think that we automatically assume that when government wants you to register for something, like, we don't trust them. Why do they want to know?
Yeah.
And it's not for any other purpose other than we need to actually know how much water we're extracting from the ground, because of these massive borehole projects that we've invested in the city. We are soon going to be extracting as much as 50 million litres of groundwater. That is ancient water. Some of that water has been there for thousands of years, I'm told. I'm not a geologist.
It's not going to be so fresh then.
But it's a sustainable supply, but we need to know how much we're extracting. Yes. And that's also why we always say be responsible when you purchase water for use like topping up of your pool or for whatever use, to make sure that you purchase from registered users.
Yeah.
And unfortunately people don't understand why that is the case, but we want to manage our water resources very responsibly. Yeah. Because ultimately we need to have water security in this bay. If we have this kind of unfolding disaster in future again, we'll never be able to convince anybody to invest in a city, because who wants to invest in a city that doesn't have water security? Yeah, so it's our number one priority.
Yeah, so water is number one.
Absolutely.
Electricity number 2.
Yes.
Or infrastructure, electricity, same things.
Good road infrastructure as well. But we also, and you see, this is my problem. I'm way too honest, I think, as a politician. Yes. I share all the issues that we deal with. But our biggest challenge, apart from water now, and it's becoming fast catching up, is sewer problems. We've diverted all of the money. Somebody was
talking about sewage there just now.
We've diverted all of the money that we had, and we spent it on water augmentation and drought mitigation projects. So we spent too little on sanitation infrastructure, and it's coming back to bite us.
Well, this poor valley here in the warmer years is
that's
sickening.
an 80-year-old line that's running there, and it hasn't been replaced. So on a weekly basis, there will be sewers.
80 years old.
Yes.
Oh, no, and it runs along the river, so it just bursts into that river, kills everything in that river.
But the good news is that we have just approved a council resolution to spend exponentially amount of money in sewer infrastructure over the next 10 years, the next decade. Okay. And it's going to bind consecutive councils, so it doesn't matter who's mayor, because we're going to do this. We're walking this road with Department of Water and Sanitation.
Okay.
And,
national,
and it will have a very, very big impact on our sewer infrastructure over the next couple of years, and provide a lot of people with dignity and sustainable sanitation solutions over the next couple of decades.
One thing I noticed in Cape Town was also the train system is going up nicely. That rail system that goes at, I think it's like R8 to get you from Simonstown through to town to the waterfront, and then R8 a ticket. You know, the rail system can alleviate the road stories. All this manganese. I see this whole manganese story. Big problem there.
So we can't build a Gautrain yet.
Yes.
We don't have that kind of
the
ability.
monorail.
That was a provincial government and City of Cape Town is trying to take some of the rail over from Metro Rail.
Okay.
We don't have that ability. We don't have that funding. But also, do we really need it? Because if we manage our road infrastructure well, we make sure that we're not impacted by load shedding, we can still be a 10, 15-minute town. And that's what we always used to be. And if we do some well-placed upgrades to certain road infrastructure, create a dual carriageway here and there, we can still remain a 15-minute town and make sure that we get there again. And there's some exciting developments with that, but I'm not prepared to share that information.
I'm glad to see there is stuff that we're looking forward to. I mean, the MBDA is always people that are like the guys there, or Luvuyo and Terrell and Debbie, they are always got such a positive outlook on the city, and we're putting this infrastructure in place, these beautiful places that we can use for tourism, and I love that kind of thing where it's where people need something to look forward to, so we need those little bits of news,
No, absolutely, so I think that's the message I want to leave with people. Just love where you live. And together, if we all work together, we all do our little bit, even if it just means cleaning up in front of your house and doing the vert. A lot of people say to me, we pay rates, why should we clean in front of our houses? Because there is something like civic pride.
Yes.
And if you
manage
to clean up in front of your own house, we can actually, as a city, then spend so much more time on looking at other areas where you don't have somebody that can clean in front of their house because there's no houses, or general areas that needs to be spruced up. So it's all working together.
Oh man, look, I don't know if there's any final questions here. Any luck having combating corruption in the metro? That's a big one.
That is a very, very, very important one, and it takes a while. There's been a couple of forensic investigations that were launched by us, and over the next couple of days, if not within the next 48 hours, there should be some very explosive revelations in the Bay. And we are...
Listen out for that, Herald.
They're going to say. I mean, they're going to write.
Was first on Gino's spot was the clue.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, babies.
No, so we take a very, very hard stance against corruption and collusion. But however, you also have to do your homework. You can't just accuse anybody of corruption. You need to be able to get the facts, make sure that it's going to stick in court. Because at the end of the day, criminals these days are very, very smart. They're very, very clever, and they've been doing it for years. So there is a whole network of criminals in Nelson Mandela Bay, and one by one we're going to flush them out. We're coming for you.
Yes, we can. Big brother, it's coming for you. Retief Odendaal, our executive mayor, I'm so glad that you've come in tonight. And I don't want to keep you. We could keep you all night here. I don't know if there's any other final questions, things on the comments. There's a lot of comments going on there, so we'll have to get the guys to have a look as well. I see Camillus is saying there a huge backlog. Well done on the backlog so far. There needs to be traffic cops in William Moffat. Load shedding.
Listen, but I love Marcel's comment there. Retief, sinus and manganese don't go well together.
Sinus.
So, I do sound a little bit like Fran Drescher and the nanny, Mr. Sheffield.
The manganese is because that's been on for 2021 they were going to move out. No, it's been
Transnet has been postponing that forever and a day, and we now have commitments that it's going to be moving in 2026, if I remember correctly. But I've also said that we need to start somewhere, and where I want to hold Transnet to account is said, instead of us waiting until the tank farm and the manganese operations are totally moved to start with our investment in the
area. Yes,
let's start now.
Why can't we start? We'll
start
go
now.
in between the tanks.
And well, not in between the tanks, but I mean, the reality is start the. Because I often get the impression that it's just being used as an excuse. Years ago when I just started out as a student, then MP Eddie Trent, who was the late Eddie Trent, was absolute such a stalwart when it came to defending Port Elizabeth and Nelson Mandela Bay, and he fought that manganese ore dumps and said that it has to move. It absolutely has to move, and it's preventing development in the city, and it's dangerous. We know that it's dangerous, and we're allowing it. So there is a lot of work that is going into convincing Transnet that they need to fast track that.
Okay.
But
if the public put pressure on them, will it fast track it some more?
of course, always. I don't know, go. Chain yourself
outside.
there and move your
Chain
dirty
yourself
ore.
to the tanks.
Move your dirty ore, yes.
We need to do it.
I'll be there with you.
You know, I'll tell you what, because it needs to go. It needs to go, you know. And then the trucks don't come into town. The trucks are out there, whatever, you know, it moves all that problem away
Yes,
and
absolutely.
creates this whole new thing that we can look forward to. This beautiful waterfront that we could have.
Yes,
Imagine.
no, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Very much
We'll
so.
do. So I'm with you with that. I want to do that. That's for sure. I'm going to chain myself to the tanks. Anything else there, Gary? I think that's that we don't want to keep you away from your wife any longer. She's already working.
After my
for you.
revelations tonight, she might not want me to come out.
You're going to be there outside your house holding up a sign. Check out the
Please
sign.
let me in, Annie.
Oh, no. Sorry. There we go. Evangelia. It says, I saw your get in. What's it? The hashtag Get NMB Working Again initiative.
It's on the 22nd of April.
Yes.
So that's where we ask civic society to do their bit, and it is likely to be another cleaning activity because I don't want people to create a parallel structure to the municipality. We must get our house in order. We must fix our municipality and be able to deliver services. But the cleansing initiatives is so important because there's just such a massive backlog in cleaning the city. So cleaning in front of your curb, in front of your verge or your
So
business.
just
verge.
take your own area.
Yeah, we'll
do
give a little bit
cleanup
more
in the
details.
valley
But
here.
very interesting that this time around, I'm reaching out to schools and I'm asking them to also get involved. And there'll be some prizes for them. I think we're putting aside 5,000 rand prizes for those that have the most innovative ways to clean up a portion of their community. So we want to get that civic pride installed in our kids as well. And that's how we get the city working again, by making people aware that it's up to all of us to take our future in our
Is that
hands.
a one-day thing or is it a week?
No,
or is it
it's a one-day thing, an hour or 2 hour thing, as long as
Okay.
you want to do it on that day normally, and we ask you
On
to
the
share
22nd.
your photos, social media,
Yes.
videos on hashtag NMB
And on
Working.
that hashtag,
Yes.
I'll be there to support as well. We'll see where we
Wonderful.
can do it. That'll be fantastic. But thank you so much for coming today. And I know that, like you say, 12-hour days. This man works all the time. His poor wife, she deserves a big mayor wife medal as well. Annie, thank you for allowing your husband as well to come out and do this stuff. Thank you for coming into the show.
Thank you,
It's been
Gino.
fantastic.
It was lovely.
It was a
And
brilliant
thank you
show.
for watching.
Yes, and of course we're going to do our giveaway. We've got a giveaway to everybody that's online. Let's do it. Let's pull the lever. Retief Odendaal we're going to pull the lever here, do the draw, and somebody's going to win the Fitch and Leeds.
Okay, so
We're
when
gonna-
do I do it?
No, you do it now. We're going. Okay, we're going around. I see my wife. Is Elmarie Sampson. Elmarie Sampson, you are the winner tonight. We're going to send you that Fitch and Leeds. Wendy will get hold of you, and we'll send that Fitch and Leeds to you. Thank you, May Odendaal. It's been fantastic chatting to you and getting to know
it's
you.
lovely being here.
Ja, en het soort wat one van de Otto du Plessis, hè?
Ja,
Otto du Plessis. Then we will see at the reunions. You'll be there doing the thing. You're a good old boy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I need to go to a reunion. I haven't been.
You know, you've got to get involved in that as well. Boy,
I don't want to acknowledge I'm getting old that quickly.
no, you can't show that off that. Thank you guys. Thank you to Spa. Thank you to Fitchinese. Thank you to Amobia for our internet. Don't forget, on the dance floor this Saturday at Music Kitchen. Don't miss it. Thank you so much. It's been fantastic.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino Spot!
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino Spot!
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.